Welcome to Healing Mindset, where we explore the stories and science behind transformation. I am Nazish, and today we are diving into the conversation that touches all of us at some point healing, not just from illness, but from disconnection. Joining me in this is Dr. Jen Mann, a visionary naturopathic doctor who believes that body's whisper often tells us more than lab reports ever could. Together, we will uncover how to reclaim your natural energy and rebuild trust with the most intelligent system you have, your own body. Welcome to the show, Dr. Jen.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be
You're,
here.
you're very welcome. So, Dr. Mann, you often speak about trusting your body, and that phrase feels both simple and profound. For our listeners, who does it truly mean to trust your body in a world that constantly tells us to suppress your system?
Yes, I think there's so much of that, especially I've been in the medical system for a long time. And I think our modern medical system has also taken away, in a way, our ability to connect with our own selves and trust that. I think a lot of our power has been given over to labs or diagnosis, and we've lost that instinct with ourselves and the deep knowing of when things are right in our body and when they aren't right in our body. There's so much outward attention versus inward trust and knowing.
That is that is very true. And when discomfort shows up, whether it is physical or emotional, how can we discern when to listen and when to seek help or intervention?
Yeah, so I think I can speak to my own healing journey a bit about how I got into this work was because I felt terrible. I started feeling terrible around age 12, a lot of fatigue and depression. And, I did get help. I went to conventional doctors and I looked for answers there and was told I was depressed and I saw therapists and I still wasn't getting better. And I think for me and a lot of people I work with, I encourage building this relationship with like these things people were telling me, they didn't sit right with me. Somewhere deep down, I knew that things could be better, that things, I didn't have to settle for things to be this way. And when I gave things a really good shot and I wasn't getting improvements, to not settle for that, to keep seeking and keep looking for answers until I was satisfied with my own health. And I think each of us has within us that knowing of when things are right and when things are off.
That is very, very beautifully put. And I think many of our listeners will be able to connect with that idea that you have to listen. The body is a messenger, it's not an enemy. When you listen, you can actually focus on what it needs. That is very,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And I found in my own life, I went through struggles with autoimmune disease and thyroid and chronic digestive issues and endometriosis. I mean, really difficult chronic health conditions. But in a way, once I partnered with them and really started deeply listening and healing myself, those things were leading me to a much better life.
That
And
is amazing.
yeah, it was this real alchemy of sorts of turning pain into that being my friend in a way and directing me towards like a life that was so much better. And in a way, my body wouldn't give up on me until I had resolved things physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually to live a much higher life than I ever could have dreamt of or expected for myself.
That is almost so comforting to listen to this, and I'm super sure that so many of our listeners are going to find it that way as well.
Mhm.
So, you describe energy as more than stamina, as an inner current that reflects our alignment. For someone listening who feels constantly drained, where can they begin to restore that natural flow?
Mm. Well, like with anything, awareness is one of the first ways to start to work with any issue you have. So I recommend people start by doing like an energy inventory and
Mhm.
really get nuanced and start to notice what things in your life are giving you more energy, or even what things internally are giving you energy, what things are pulling away from your energy, and start to notice like, oh, when I eat that food, I feel better. Oh, when I think those thoughts, oh, when I do my meditation, I actually have more energy. Oh, in the morning, I have more energy. Just really start to notice any patterns and bring
Mm-hmm.
awareness to the things that fill you up. And then likewise, do an energy inventory of what are the things that are pulling away from my energy. Oh, that person I saw, that conversation I had, the work I'm doing, the thoughts I'm having. When I slept from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m., the next day I felt terrible. It was just maybe this point in my cycle, I feel better. But bringing some nuance to it and bringing awareness to it, I think is the first step in starting to understand what's really nourishing me in a deep way and what's pulling away from me.
That is so true. Listening to you, I feel like that there is so much even in my life I can focus on ki where my energy is going, and similarly, listeners are gonna also relate with it. Trust me.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, would you say that reclaiming energy is a primarily physical, emotional, or spiritual, or is there an interconnection in between all of three?
Oh, I don't think you can separate them out. And for me, I had to do all of it. I had to look
Mhm.
spiritually, energetically, emotionally, my thoughts, my body. I had to really look at all of it. And if there's people out there that are struggling with things like chronic fatigue, um, things that are a little more difficult to work with, we
Sorry.
often do have to look on all the different levels to really restore deep energy.
That is that is such a gentle truth that like it's like energy does not come from doing more, but it comes from being more aligned and aware of your needs. It's just amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be doing all the energy work in the world. And if you don't have, like for me, my thyroid wasn't working, I didn't have the physical juice to
Mm-hmm.
really create a body from the work I was doing energetically and emotionally. But then once I added the physical in, then things started taking off more and more. Really
That
being holistic, I think, is important.
yeah. Exactly. I can completely believe that after listening to you. So, in your years of practice, you have seen so many people struggle with fatigue and autoimmune issues. What's one surprising pattern you have noticed in all those who just can't seem to regain their vitality?
Hmm. There's actually a lot of common issues we see in people facing those conditions.
Yeah.
And some of them are in that more physical realm, which is what we primarily start with. Almost everyone with those things going on have some sort of food intolerance. I often see nutrient deficiencies like iron, vitamin D. There's almost always gut dysbiosis, imbalances in the microbiome in the gut,
Mm-hmm.
and usually issues with hormones, especially cortisol and stress hormones. So there's usually, it's not, people think like, oh, if I just do this thing or I just do this thing, I'm going to be totally restored. And what we're finding is like it's rarely just one issue. It's kind of like the whole ecosystem has gotten off. So there's a bit with hormones, there's a bit with gut, there's a bit with nutrients, there's a bit with all these different pieces. And so it's really this, what I find works best is when people are dedicated and we are able to go through all those different areas over time and shore them up. So you're really creating a new body.
I believe that so many of us live in that push and pull between exhaustion and expectations. And your insight brings so much compassion to that, which is so amazing. So it's like we have this constant expectation to do this. There is a list of things we have to do, but our body needs are something else, and then our mental needs are something else, our physical needs are something else, and then that exhaustion comes. But the list of expectations keeps on increasing and increasing and increasing. So that
Yes.
constant push that our body has to face. And then it leads to so many other things like diseases and vitamin deficiencies, as you mentioned.
Yes, a huge part of healing is working on our nervous system with the
Yeah.
demands that we face. And that's why a lot of these issues are being so much more common, is because we're demanded of more and more. So just like with that energy inventory, like really look at like those expectations and what's being asked of you and which of those do you really want to participate in and which
Yeah.
don't you want to. And then all of us has to constantly be working on our nervous system and getting more of that parasympathetic relaxed tone in our
Mhm.
nervous system.
That is actually very insightful for us to know. Um, do you think that do you think that a culture's constant pace, this obsession with productivity, actually feed into these health issues?
Oh, very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there's so many demands and so much even just the amount of information we have access to now
Yeah.
and that we're constantly processing, it's extremely demanding on our nervous system. We're really meant to go into like a stress response and resolve it. And now what's happening is people are just in this stress response all the time
Yeah.
without any relaxation into sympathetic mode, and the body can't resolve. And then it's creating all these chemicals all the time. And we kind of become addictive and we think that those chemicals are normal.
Yeah. It's like a body is constant, it's like quietly saying enough, but our mind won't listen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And then they're starting to, how do we work with that? How do we start to bring our mind more calm, our body more calm, and move from that place, not be in
Mhm.
reaction all the time? It's tall order these days.
Exactly, very true. So many people who have faced illness or burnout feel betrayed by their own bodies. How can
Mm.
they begin to rebuild that sense of trust and view their body as a partner again?
Yeah, the attitude of curiosity is incredibly powerful. Instead
Mhm.
of judging the fatigue or being resentful against the fatigue, I remember I used to feel that all the time. I'd be like, I'm so tired. I hate feeling this way. Felt like my body was an enemy. Instead, to get curious about, what is this? What is this about? Is it possible my body is trying to teach me something? Can I get curious and work with it and trust that it's doing the best it can? But maybe
Mhm.
there's some things to change in my mind and my heart and my life to be more aligned and be able to run that energy again. So curiosity and befriending, um, it goes a lot farther than the anger and the resentment and even hatred that people feel towards their bodies after a period of time. So it's a
Yeah.
huge part of when we start working with people in our practice, is putting on that detective hat, is what I tell them to do, and really get curious about what's going on and try to find the process interesting and pleasurable. And it's amazing we have these bodies and that they're sending us messages.
E-
And to build that type of connection with it and partnership with it and friendship with it, that in itself starts running different hormones and changes the nervous system and starts the healing.
That is such a comforting way to put it. Like healing as a friendship and reunion to understand our body and everything instead of repair. So beautifully put. So, for someone listening right now, what small daily rituals can help anchor that trust, both emotionally and physically?
Hmm. So what the way we work with people is to start to take the basics in life and you start to turn them towards your health.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting to think about your sleep, how much sleep you're getting at night, what food you're putting in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And we often start with people with an elimination diet because it's a way to take out foods and add them back in one at a time to start to see how your body responds to each food. And what's cool about this process is that it's really a mindfulness process of starting to realize, like, when I put this food in my body, I feel this way. When I go to sleep at night, I feel this way. So just starting to take a couple simple habits of things that we're all eating anyways, we're all sleeping anyways, and start to bring some mindfulness to it builds that relationship with the body more and more.
It is so incredible that small things as small as mindful touch and awareness can really shift our entire relationship with our body. It's just,
Yes.
yeah,
Even a simple body scan,
yeah,
scanning the sensation in your feet up to your head once or twice a day, and that bringing that awareness starts to heal the body too. So really
yeah.
simple things. Mhm.
It's really simple. It is. It is. So for
Not usually.
anyone,
Well,
that is amazing. So for anyone tuning in and listening in who's feeling lost in their healing journey, maybe they have tried everything, but they still feel disconnected. What is the small step you'd encourage them to take today?
There's always more. I mean, listening to inspiration. Be careful what you consume from media. You know,
Yeah.
consuming podcasts like this is very different. We all have to work on faith that we can heal, look for inspirational stories versus, all these things you find on chat groups and things of people in misery. It's like, turn your focus, look for people that have done this too. So many people have healed from tons of conditions and
Hmm.
build that faith in yourself that you can do this.
Yeah.
And there's always more. There is there's always more practitioners out there. There's always more therapeutics to try. I mean, I went to the ends of the earth in myself to heal. I had to go very deep and very far and into the esoteric. And there's always more. There's always more I'm learning. It's never ending. So there's always hope, and building that hope and continuing to seek is really important.
That's you framed it so beautifully, and I'm very sure it did take pressure off from our audience that healing is simple and easy if you are just doing it in the right manner.
Yeah, if you are willing to keep that that spark in you looking and seeking, you'll keep finding connections and the next step. And it's really about continuing to take the next step and find people, mentors and practitioners that have experience doing what you need help with. We're
Yeah,
not meant to do this alone. We can't do this alone. We're meant to heal in community and to find people that can continue supporting you each time you feel stuck or aren't making progress.
yeah, that is so beautifully put. And what mindset shift could help make healing feel less like a battle and more like coming home to themselves?
I think it really is a process of coming home and finding our aliveness that we're meant to have. And the biggest shift I recommend mindset wise is to stop trying to fix yourself and instead step into this process of healing. And the fixing is like assuming something's wrong with you, assuming that there's something broken.
Hmm.
And healing is much more about love, it's much more about connection, it's much more about curiosity
Hmm.
and willingness. And we have always healed. This is something humans are made to do. It's ancient. And and I wish everyone learned how to heal. And if you're in that process and learning how to heal, you will have that skill set for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
It's invaluable. Even though
it
I've healed
is.
things, other stuff will come up, but to know how to heal, that skill set is just as important as any other skill set in life.
Yeah.
And it can be.
Yeah, it is. And for our listeners, this is such a beautiful takeaway that connection, love, healing is a medicine. It is so
Mhm.
beautifully put and taken away, I'm definitely sure. So, Dr. Mann, this has been such an heart-opening conversation with you. And for those listeners of ours who want to learn more about your work and connect with you directly, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can go to our website. Our website is www.nova, Nova, wellnessmed.com. And if you're located in California, we see clients in California. You can schedule a free discovery call with us there. We also have a lot of information, regardless of where you are, on our website.
That is amazing, wonderful. I'm sure many of our listeners will want to follow your work. You bring such calm clarity to the idea of healing.
Mm. Thank you for having me. It's wonderful
So,
to talk
what?
with you.
Yeah. If today's conversation stirred something in you, take it as your body's gentle invitation to slow down, to listen, and to reconnect. Remember, your energy isn't something to chase, it's something to reclaim. Thank you, Dr. Mann, for sharing your wisdom and reminding us that true healing begins with trust. And to everyone listening, be kind to yourself. Tune into your body's quiet wisdom and know that every breath is a part of your healing. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep nurturing your healing mindset.